Hey everybody, Mo here, and today I'm bringing you guys another episode of Meta Monday. So, we're going to go over the top 8 most played decks in the meta right now, see how they're performing, see what you should be playing, what to expect to play against, and then we'll go over the top 3 best performing decks, period, just off of win rate. So, before we get into the Meta Monday, I wanted to remind you guys, though, that 68% of the people that watch my videos aren't actually subscribed to me, which is cool because the number's going down, but which is bad because the 68% of you make me sad. You guys watch my videos every week. You know, I've been pretty consistent. This last week, we put out a lot of content. We put out our Meta Monday, a new series of Sweaty Thursday, which for those of you that don't know, it's basically like a miniature Meta Monday. It tells you the 3 decks I'd play, I'd play for ladder going into the weekend, and then what lineup I'd play for the gauntlet. Just like to give you people that don't have too much time, like you can't sit here and grind every single day. It's like, oh, I work, you know, a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, and I have a family, I have kids, or something like that. And then you're just like, well, the weekend is really the only time I get to have to myself and play my game. That's what Sweaty Thursdays are for. So make sure you tune into that. Make sure to subscribe so you get notification whenever I post all that stuff. I put out an amazing deck guide last week on Bard Illaoi, the number 2 deck right here. So I put out an amazing, really long, in-depth deck guide on this. Make sure you don't want to miss that. Join the Discord in the description below. Join that Discord. A bunch of cool stuff in there. All my deck guides are in there. I'm always looking for people to play games with in there. Sometimes I randomly stream on my Discord. I don't really stream on Twitch too much. Maybe that changes soon. Who knows? But for the most part, I just stream like randomly in my Discord. So if you want to catch those, make sure to join the Discord below. There's nothing bad can come from you subbing. And then if you want to change your mind later, you can just unsubscribe. Is that easy? But yeah, so that's gonna be it for the intro. Let's get into this Meta Monday, which is not actually the most interesting Meta Monday, albeit. Your number 1 and 2 decks is no surprise to anybody. Kaisa and Bard Illaoi. What I am surprised about is the ordering. I thought Bard Illaoi would be more popular. Yeah, I thought Bard Illaoi would be more popular for sure than Kaisa, but Mono Kaisa more popular than Bard. Both of them have about the same win rate. Both of them equally as freaking busted. Like, these decks are absolutely not okay. Like, Kaisa's not okay. Bard interaction with Spawn is not okay. It's kind of broken. If you want to see again how to play Bard Illaoi, I have a deck guide on my channel that went out last week, and then I have a written deck guide, like super in-depth, telling you about exactly how to play Bard Illaoi, like what each card's for, all that type of stuff in my Discord below. So I'll teach you that. I'll probably make a Kaisa one this week. Let me know if you guys want to see a Kaisa one. I thought we were going to get a balance patch this week, but if we don't, you know, it might just be time for a Kaisa. Might be time for a Kaisa deck guide, so we'll see. But yeah, these decks are broken. Like, do you have any idea how broken a deck has to be for your worst matchup possible to be a 60-40? Like, that is so unbelievable. Like, let's look at this. Not a single one of these other decks is going to have a 60-40 be their worst matchup. Like, that's not a thing. To have your worst matchups be 60-40s? I'm looking at you, right? What were you thinking, man? So hopefully Kaisa gets nerfed. Hopefully the Spawn interaction or something about Bard Illaoi gets nerfed, like Chimes or whatever it be. These decks aren't super interesting. We're in a mid-range heavy meta right now, but it's really just dominated by 2 like mid-range decks, and really they're just combo decks. Like, Kaisa is just like, oh, did you have Valor plus Supercharge plus Kaisa on 5? You win. And then Bard Illaoi is like, oh, did you like draw all your Chimes? Oh, you win. And it's just like really boring. I personally like Bard Illaoi. I think Bard Illaoi is a little bit more in-depth, but a lot of matchups really do just come down to like you playing your good cards against your opponent's bad cards, and then you just like bullshit wins every once in a while because you're like, oops, I drew 3 Chimes on turn 3, haha. Like, haha, you died, haha. You know, so it's pretty funny to me as the Bard Illaoi player. Probably not funny to everyone playing against Bard Illaoi. Number 3, Kaisa Sivir. I'm just going to lump that under Kaisa decks. Number 4, TF Annie. Wow, would you look at that? And here, I have something interesting to show you guys. Not just TF Annie, but would you look at that? Under sub 50% win rate. Who would have guessed? Last week, I think this had the highest win rate. Or it was the most played with like the highest win rate or something like that. It wasn't the most played. I think Kaisa was the most played because she just came out. But Anti-TF had like an absurd win rate. And I was telling people like, you know, Anti-TF is still bad. Like, it's the same bad deck from last season. The difference is Anti-TF is good against 2 things. Really bad decks, really bad players. What is week 1 full of? Really bad decks, and you're probably not matched with the players you should be matched with. Like, for instance, you're matching literally top 5 master players against people that were like barely mastered 0 OP. Not saying the 0 master or 0 OP master player is a bad player, but in comparison, the skill differential is going to be massive. So you're playing against people that you shouldn't be playing against, and on top of that, you know, they might be playing a for fun deck, and that's what NATF is really good at. Lo and behold, a week goes by, people start playing good decks. What happens? NATF starts getting bodied. Like, this deck is not good. This deck's not good. Stop playing this deck, please. For the love of God, stop playing it. Aurelia kind of fell off, sub 50% win rate. And here's the interesting thing. After the Kaisa, Illaoi, Bard, and then the other Kaisa deck, the rest of your top 8 is filled with sub 50% win rate, sub 50% win rate, barely 50% win rate, exactly 50% win rate, and then your first deck that's actually above 50% win rate is number 8. Sub 50, sub 50, sub 50, barely 50. 13, you actually get a good win rate. 14, you actually get a good win rate. So, like, out of the top 15 decks, you have 4 that actually have an above 50, not even 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. You get 4 decks that are actually above 50% win rate that aren't Bard Illaoi and Kaisa. Like, these decks are so dominant that they're bringing other decks down to under 50% win rate. Like, Aurelia is a counter to Kaisa, but like, it's still a sub 50% win rate because it loses to just like everything else. Like, it beats Kaisa. Like, look, it beats Kaisa pretty well, above 50%, above 50%. It's almost 70%. Like, it smokes Kaisa. What's the problem with the Aurelia? It loses to this, loses to this, loses to this, loses to this, loses to fucking this, loses to this even. Like, it's so sad. You lose to this, you lose to this now. Like, you actually lose to everything with the Aurelia. Like, your goal now in ladder is just like hard target one of these and then lose everything else, and it's pretty annoying. Then we got Heimerdinger coming in at 51, so barely 50% win rate. I think this deck is fine into Bard Illaoi, if I'm not mistaken. Am I mistaken here? I think this deck is fine into Bard Illaoi players. But I could be wrong. Yeah, I know it's bad into Kaisa. Like, you literally never beat Kaisa. I thought it was okay to Bard Illaoi. I don't see it on here. I see Illaoi Lux. But yeah, you're probably just good into like all the shitty decks. You're bad into Kaisa, but you're good into like everything else is probably the game plan with that one. Burn, I mean, nothing really to this one. You beat everything that's not like Kaisa Bard. I don't think you ever beat Kaisa. I don't think you ever beat Bard. Actually, it shows here 54% win rate. I don't think that's true. And I think the same goes for like Bard Illaoi. You're losing really hard. You shouldn't be beating the Kaisa decks, but no, somehow they are. And then Thralls. What is Thralls beating? You're beating you're not beating Aurelia. You're not beating like anything relevant, I think. Oh, you're beating all the bad decks is what's happening. Okay. So yeah, they're just beating all the bad decks. Like here, they're beating Widening Light, NATF players, Keck W, Noxus bullshit, slow bullshit. Like, you're beating just a lot of random. You're just beating all of the random decks that aren't Kaisa and that aren't like Kaisa, Aurelia, and Bard Illaoi, basically. Bard Illaoi smokes Thralls because your units are just so big. So yeah, so that's going to be it for the top 8. There's not really much to go over. None of these decks are actually new outside of like Bard Illaoi and Kaisa. And they've been around for a couple weeks already. We've already seen a bunch of Kaisa. We've already seen a bunch of Bard Illaoi, so not really new. So we'll go ahead and round this out by just looking at the top 8 or the 3 most winningest decks here. So it looks like Ari Bard is coming in as the most winningest deck. Only 410 matches. That's really low. I actually tried to play a bunch of Bard Ari, but because I thought it'd be really good into Kaisa, and it turns out it's actually not that good into Kaisa. Yeah, it's good into not Mono Kaisa. Mono Kaisa kind of just like beats you no matter what because they play so many like save spells. But not Mono Kaisa you kind of beat because they just probably don't draw Kaisa on 5 sometimes. But yeah, I think Ari Bard seems pretty solid. 58% win rate. Wow, that's insane. Maybe that's a pickup. If you like Ionia decks, you want to make sure you beat some, this is a really solid deck. And then you have Yasuo, Katarina, Riven, and then, of course, Aphelios Pile. So we're going to skip Aphelios Pile because it's basically just the best deck from last meta transferring over and beating all the bad decks that are here. And then this one, what is Yasuo Katarina Riven? Oh, it's literally just one guy. It's actually 208 matches from this one APAC player with a 60% win rate. Interesting. Is this not just like, yeah, it's just like a windswept Hillock deck. Wow, but apparently it's beating like Kaisa. Actually, okay, this one's kind of sus. I would bet that this person's probably just skill diffing everybody over in APAC, and yeah, that's it. He's probably just like skill diffing everybody over in APAC, and that's why it's such a high win rate. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe the deck's secretly OP and this guy just knows more than we do. But yeah, I'll leave a link down to the Runeterra.ar in the description below so you can go check out these stats whenever you want them. This is the website I use. It's the best for LoR stats. This is what I use to find all my LoR stats, find leaderboard, deck lists, all that type of stuff. I'm not sponsored or anything by them. They're just that fucking insane that they deserve free shoutouts. So shout out Runeterra.ar. Everyone go check them out and use them. Sign up, register, all that type of stuff. You can even follow my account. This is where I post all of my deck lists too, and you can see mine. I keep my match history open. I don't keep it private. So if you're ever wondering, oh, what is Mo playing? Like, you know, the answer is not well. He's playing not well so far. But yeah, you can see like, oh, I've been playing just like a bunch of Bard Illaoi. You get to see like all my Bard Illaoi games. Like, oh, he's playing a bunch of Kaisa. Oh, he's playing a bunch of like, you know, Yorlin Arms or whatever. So you can go see what it is that I'm trying to play over Runeterra.ar/emotional. And go ahead, you can type me up in the search bar here. I think I should pop up because I'm one of their content creators. Yeah, you just look up my name here, find me, follow me, all that type of stuff. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Let me know if you want to see a Kaisa deck guide. If you enjoyed that fully in-depth deck guide that I did last week on Bard Illaoi. Let me know if you want to see me do the same thing for the Kaisa deck. But that's gonna be it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.